Picture this. A chess master sits across from a complete novice. The master has studied every opening, memorized thousands of combinations, spent decades perfecting his craft. The novice? He barely knows how the pieces move. The game begins. The master calculates 3 moves ahead. The novice moves randomly. The master follows established patterns. The novice ignores them completely. And then something impossible happens. The novice wins. But here's what's truly fascinating. The master didn't lose because he lacked skill. He lost because he was trapped inside a system of rules that he never questioned. The novice won because he didn't even know the rules existed. What if I told you that this chess game is happening in your mind right now? What if you're the master playing the game of life, but you're trapped inside a set of rules that you never chose? What if your entire reality is just the mental box that someone else taught you to master? Who taught you the rules? And what would happen if you simply stopped following them? See, right now, as you're listening to this, your brain is performing the most sophisticated magic trick ever conceived. It's creating what you call reality out of an infinite sea of possibilities. It's selecting, filtering, editing, and presenting you with a carefully curated version of what exists. But here's the question that will change everything. If your brain is the magician, then who is the audience? Today, you're going to discover that you've been living inside an illusion so convincing that you forgot you were watching a show. You're going to learn that the voice in your head isn't you. The thoughts you think aren't yours, and the reality you see is just one channel on an infinite television set. But most importantly, you're going to remember who's holding the remote control. Let's start with proof. I want you to do something for me right now. Look around the room you're in and find everything that's red. Go ahead, scan for red objects. Red books, red clothing, red decorations. Take a moment. Now, without looking again, tell me, what was blue? You can't, can you? Even though blue objects were right there in your field of vision, your brain simply ignored them. Your mind didn't register reality. It hunted for evidence of what you commanded it to find. This isn't a parlor trick. This is the fundamental mechanism by which you create your experience of life. Emmet understood this when he wrote, "What you think upon grows. What you dwell upon in your mind eventually comes into your experience." But he wasn't talking about positive thinking. He was revealing the operating system of human consciousness. Here's another example that will disturb you. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Scientists call this the doorway effect. Your brain literally resets its context when you change environments. But here's what they don't tell you. Your brain doesn't just do this with tasks. It does this with insights. That profound realization you had yesterday, that moment of clarity about your life, where is it now? It was erased by the doorway effect when you shifted mental states. Your own brain decided that your breakthrough wasn't worth remembering because it didn't fit your established identity pattern. And here's the one that will really disturb you. You've been looking for your keys everywhere. You search the kitchen, the bedroom, the car. Finally, frustrated, you ask someone to help you.
They walk into the room and immediately point to your keys sitting in plain sight on the counter. "How did you not see those?" they ask. The answer is terrifying. You didn't see them because your brain actively made them invisible. Not because you weren't looking hard enough, not because you were careless, but because your brain predicted that the keys wouldn't be there, so it filtered them out of your conscious awareness. Your brain is not showing you reality. It's showing you what it expects to see based on your past programming. It's creating a customized hallucination designed to conform your existing beliefs about how the world works. The question that should terrify you is this: what else is invisible in your life, not because it's not there, but because you don't expect it to be there? That opportunity, that love, that solution, that breakthrough, they might be sitting right in front of you, but your brain has edited them out of your personal movie.
But it gets worse, much worse. Have you ever learned a new word and then suddenly started hearing it everywhere? You buy a particular car, and now you see that same model on every street corner. You discover a new band, and their music seems to be playing wherever you go. This phenomenon has a name: the Baader-Meinhof effect. And the explanation should shake you to your core. The world didn't change. The frequency of that word, that car, that music didn't suddenly increase. What changed was your filter. You gave permission to your mind to see these things, and now they exist in your reality. But here's what's truly disturbing. If you can unconsciously program your mind to see new things, what has your mind been programmed to not see? What patterns, what possibilities, what realities have been filtered out of your life by programming you don't even remember receiving? Do you feel like you're always repeating the same mistakes, the same pains, attracting the same patterns in relationships, in your finances, in your sense of self-worth? What if I told you the problem isn't you, but the images that were programmed inside of you? Ancient images from childhood, of pain, of abandonment. Images that were burned into your subconscious as absolute truths, and today they are running your life without your permission. The way you feel, the decisions you make, the love you think you deserve, even the money you allow yourself to earn. All of it could be governed by these inner images, formed in your past, now running on autopilot. The subconscious mind, you see, thinks in images, not in words. And when an image from the past is traumatic or unresolved, it becomes an unquestioned law in your inner world, even if your rational mind knows it no longer makes sense. Recent neuroscience research has discovered something that would have horrified previous generations. Your brain makes decisions before your conscious mind is aware of them. Using brain imaging, scientists can predict your choices up to 7 seconds before you think you've made them. Think about this. Before you decide to pick up that glass of water, the signal has already been sent. Your conscious mind is like a press secretary inventing a convincing story for a decision that was already made behind the scenes. If your brain filters what you see, erases what it judges useless, and pre-selects your actions based on old, hidden images, then who is really in control? Who is actually living your life? Emmet saw this clearly when he wrote, "Most people go through life using their minds like a runaway horse instead of like a trained steed." But he understood something that modern neuroscience is only beginning to grasp. The horse was never meant to be the rider. You see, you've been trying to solve the wrong problem. You've spent your entire life attempting to train your mind, discipline your thoughts, and control your mental processes. You've been trying to be a better chess master, learning more rules, memorizing more patterns. But that's the trap. The mind isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's a filtering system, a reality creation device, a biological computer running programs that were installed without your permission. But you are not the computer. You are not the program. You are not even the programmer.
You are something far more profound. Who is aware that your brain is filtering reality? Who notices that your mind is making decisions before you're conscious of them? Who observes the thoughts and the images coming and going like clouds across the sky? That silent, unchanging awareness that witnesses all of this, that is who you really are. Emmet Fox understood this when he taught, "Man is not a body with a soul. Man is a soul with a body." But he wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was pointing to the most practical truth in existence. You are the consciousness that operates the mind, not the mind itself. The mind is an instrument, a tool, a reality filtering device. But you are the operator. You are the programmer. You are the conscious presence that can choose which program to run. Every single moment of your life, you have been looking through the lens of the mind and mistaking the lens for your identity. You've been watching thoughts arise and believing you are those thoughts. You've been experiencing emotions and assuming you are those emotions. But thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. The mind produces an endless stream of mental content. Yet something in you remains constant. Something in you observes all of this drama without being touched by it. That observer is your true self. That silent witness is the I am that exists before you add any labels to it. That awareness is the consciousness that Emmet Fox called the Christ within, not as a religious concept, but as the awakened recognition of your true nature. The chess master was trapped because he identified with being a chess player. The novice won because he didn't even know he was supposed to be trapped. He played from a state of freedom because he had no rules to limit him. Right now, you are the consciousness that can choose to be the master or the novice. You can continue identifying with the patterns and programs in your mind, or you can remember that you are the awareness that observes those patterns. Emmet Fox called this the great discovery. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your circumstances. You are the divine consciousness that creates and experiences all of these things. The moment you remember this, everything changes, not because your problems disappear, but because you realize you were never trapped by them. You were only trapped by identifying with the part of you that experiences problems. You are the space in which all experience occurs. You are the awareness in which all thoughts arise. You are the consciousness that can observe any state of mind without being limited by it. And from this recognition comes the most practical power imaginable, the ability to consciously choose which thoughts to feed, which emotions to entertain, and which reality to create.
So how do you work with this understanding? How do you step into your role as the conscious programmer of your reality? First, you must understand that you don't fight the filter. You don't try to shut off your mind or stop your thoughts. That would be like trying to stop your heart from beating. The mind is supposed to filter. That's its job. Instead, you learn to give your mind new commands. You learn to consciously direct the filter, instead of letting it run on autopilot with outdated programming and old, painful images. Emmet Fox taught something he called the law of substitution. But this isn't about positive thinking or mental tricks. This is about understanding that you, as consciousness, have the power to choose which thoughts receive your attention. Here's how it works. A thought of scarcity appears in your mind. I don't have enough money. I can't afford this. I'm struggling financially. This thought is likely powered by an old image of lack from your past. The old you would either fight this thought or believe it. The awakened you does something different. You recognize that this thought is just a program running in your mental computer. You don't identify with it. You don't judge it. You don't analyze it. You simply observe it as the consciousness that you are. And then you give your mind a new command. Show me evidence of abundance. That's it. Not affirmation, not pretending, just a clear instruction to your reality filtering system. I want to see abundance instead of scarcity. And your mind, like a faithful servant, will obey. It will begin to highlight opportunities you couldn't see before. It will notice resources that were always there but filtered out. It will create new neural pathways that orient you toward abundance instead of lack. This is what Emmet Fox meant when he wrote, "You are transformed by the renewing of your mind," not by forcing your mind to be different, but by consciously choosing what to feed it. Fear appears. You don't fight it. You observe it and command, "Show me safety and opportunity." Anger arises. You don't suppress it. You witness it and direct, "Show me understanding and compassion." Confusion emerges. You don't struggle with it. You acknowledge it and instruct, "Show me clarity and wisdom." Each time you do this, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're literally reprogramming your reality creation system. You're training your brain to look for different evidence in the infinite field of possibilities. But here's the key that most people miss. This only works when you do it from the recognition that you are the consciousness observing the mind, not the mind itself. If you try to use these techniques from the level of the ego, from the level of the thinking mind, you'll just be one program trying to control another program. That's exhausting and ultimately ineffective. But when you operate from the awareness that you are the consciousness that observes all mental content, you have real power. You're not trying to control the mind. You're simply choosing where to direct its attention. Start with this. Throughout your day, whenever you notice your mind running a negative or limiting program, pause. Take a breath. Remember that you are the awareness observing this program, and then gently redirect. Show me something better. Don't make it complicated.
Don't turn it into a struggle. Just be like the novice chess player who doesn't know he's supposed to be limited by the rules.
Do you see what's happening here? You've been playing a finite game with infinite rules. You've been trying to win at life by getting better at the game, but the game itself was an illusion. The mental box only exists while you believe you're the character inside it. The moment you remember that you are the player, the consciousness that can choose any character, any story, any reality, the box disappears. This is what Emmet Fox discovered and spent his life teaching. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of your past. You are not limited by your genetics, your conditioning, or your environment. You are the divine consciousness that creates and experiences all of these things. You are the awareness that can observe any limitation without being limited by it. You are the I am that exists before any story about who you are. From this recognition comes the most practical magic imaginable, the ability to consciously choose your experience of life. Not by controlling external circumstances, that's still playing the finite game, but by choosing which aspect of infinite possibility to focus on, to believe in, to expect, and to create. Your brain will always filter reality. That's not a problem to solve, it's a gift to use. The question is, are you going to let your filter run on outdated programs and images installed by your past, or are you going to consciously choose what to filter for? Are you going to live as the victim of your mental programming, or as the conscious creator of your reality? Emmet Fox said it perfectly. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. It makes no difference how deep-seated may be the trouble. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. But this isn't sentimental love. This is the love of consciousness recognizing itself. This is the love that comes from knowing you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. This is the love that dissolves every limitation because it sees through the illusion of separation. Your life is not a problem to be solved. It's a masterpiece to be created. Your mind is not an enemy to be defeated. It's a tool to be consciously directed. You are not broken. You are not limited. You are not stuck. You are infinite consciousness having a temporary experience of limitation, and you can change that experience the moment you remember who you really are. The chess master lost because he was trapped by rules he never questioned. The novice won because he was free from rules he never learned. Which one will you choose to be? The rules that have limited you were never real. The box that has contained you was never locked. The game that has frustrated you was never the only game available. You are the consciousness that creates reality. You are the awareness that programs experience. You are the divine presence that can choose to focus on any possibility in the infinite field of potential. Your brain has been lying to you about your limitations, but your heart has been telling you the truth about your power all along. The only question is, are you ready to listen? You are not your thoughts. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are the consciousness that observes all of these things and the power that can transform them.